This is the Franchise Basketball Insider, presented by Massengale Eye Care, Oklahoma City's leading eye care provider since 1989. Call 631-2020.
Greetings, Thunder fans. The Oklahoma City Thunder on the cusp of the NBA Finals after a 118-94 trouncing of the Golden State Warriors in Game 4 of the best-of-7 Western Conference Final Series inside Chesapeake Energy Arena. We've got a lot to do on this Thunder Basketball Insider. Let's get started first at the podium with Thunder coach Billy Donovan.
Well, I thought it was a hard-fought game by both teams. There were some runs that went back and forth in the first half, and I thought we closed the first half out very well. And they're too good of a team. They're going to make a run. I was kind of really proud of the way the guys just kind of hung in there through some of it. We had some ups and downs. We kept battling and fighting. I thought we defended as hard as we could for 48 minutes. Obviously Thompson there in that third quarter got going and made some tough shots. But overall, I thought we kept battling and fighting, and we weathered some storms and manufactured some offense and got some stops and got out on the break. So, overall, it was I thought our guys did a really, really good job tonight.
Coach, Nate Duncan from the Cauldron. When you played small before in these playoffs, especially in the San Antonio series, it didn't really work. Same thing, first two games. What made you think going into Game 3 that would work and that is something that you guys should emphasize?
Well, one of the things, it's not necessarily about, what is or is not going to work. It's more about you got to put things out there sometimes, based on teams. You've got to be willing, I think, to take some risks and do that. And I've said this before, you start looking at numbers all the time from the year, and it's over 82 games, and it's against a lot of different teams. Sometimes you got to look and evaluate what's going on inside the series you're playing against. So, why were the numbers bad? And was there any way, with adjustments, could we make those numbers better? And our guys have done a good job where we've been able to move around and be pretty versatile with our roster and play guys in different roles and in different positions. And I think that's a strength of our team.
You said the last game was largely about competing.
Yeah. No, I thought we competed tonight, but we didn't play very intelligently. We way too many turnovers, careless passes. This is probably the longest team in the league that we're facing, and we are continuing to try to throw passes over the top of their outstretched arms. It's probably not a great idea. So 21 turnovers, many of them unforced. And then, of course, they're taking care of business on the boards. And, we're forcing stops, we're getting stops, but we're not going and getting the ball. And we have to be able to chase down loose balls and long rebounds. And otherwise, they're getting just way too many possessions compared to us.
Coach Michael Kenny, they had an overwhelming advantage on the free throw line. Was that just them being more aggressive, or just your defense playing a little bit more with hands instead of their feet?
We did commit some silly fouls tonight, but also they were very aggressive.
Your game tonight, obviously both ends of the court, but what were you most pleased with about the way you played tonight and how you impacted this game?
Just my energy. A lot of guys chipped in tonight, not just myself. I thought Andre was a big key for us tonight. Just making plays and doing different things that doesn't come up in the stat sheets, but I just thought my energy was good tonight.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma. Kevin, a lot of emotion in the building because of Draymond Green. The crowd was into it way before tip-off, those kinds of things. Did you guys have to worry about your emotions and playing within yourself and keeping things at a cool level? And also with that, late in the game, you got a block on Green late. Game was pretty much over. You celebrated with a pretty emphatic fist pump. Was that because of the victory or because that was Draymond?
Well, we didn't. And I'm trying to answer this question the right way, but, in practice yesterday and shoot around this morning, we wasn't focused on what, happened, with the kick and all that stuff. We were just trying to focus on having a good practice, having a good shoot around, having a winning mindset. And, so all that stuff didn't affect us. And we knew our crowd was going to be into it a little bit more because of what happened, but we didn't we try not to think about that. We just try to focus on us. And I think at the end of the game, you get a block, man. Those are, just good plays, and I'm just excited about it. Just trying to play with passion every chance I get.
Steph, why has Andre Robertson been able to get so loose on you guys? He had a career high 17 tonight.
They made some great adjustments, getting him to the right spots on the floor, and he's obviously finishing plays in the paint and making some timely, baskets. We got to look at the film to figure out where our rotations are and things like that, but he's doing his job.
Michelle Steele, ESPN. Steph over here on your left. Obviously a very frustrating night for you, but how would you describe your energy level in tonight's game?
Thought it was better than last game, but obviously not enough. The second half, we did a good job of fighting back, keeping it somewhat close, and giving ourselves a chance, to start the fourth quarter. But we allowed them to get their momentum back and keep their crowd in it. And, they made some timely baskets, and it was just a tough night. So, this is a tough situation to be in, but the series isn't over. And in our locker room, it's obviously frustration, trying to figure out how we can get back to being ourselves. And we have an opportunity to do that on Thursday. So, excited about that.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Franchise Basketball Insider. Oklahoma City will practice on Wednesday and then fly out to Golden State for Thursday's Game 5. We'll cover that practice and bring you another Franchise Basketball Insider report at that time. 118-94, the Thunder win tonight over the Golden State Warriors to take a lead of 3-1 in the best-of-7 series. Thanks for watching this edition of the Franchise Basketball Insider. I'm David Garrett for Oklahoma's New Sound for Sports, 107.7 The Franchise in Oklahoma City, 107.9 The Franchise in Tulsa.